An introduction is purely designed to identify who you are, who you represent, and a brief description of what you do. For example, hello, Mr. Customer. My name is Marshall Northcott, and I am a corporate sales trainer with the Sales Advantage. The Sales Advantage is a company based in Southern California that specializes in training, coaching, and consulting for sales professionals and organizations that work in a business-to-business selling environment. Often, when I ask people what they say to introduce themselves, they freeze. They cannot recall exactly what they say to introduce themselves. Do you know exactly what you say? You cannot fix what you have no awareness of. Words are powerful. Using all the right words can make all the difference in the world. You are encouraged to write out an actual introduction script that you could use for your current position. Right after your introduction, I recommend that you clear the time by saying, "Would this be a convenient time for you to speak with me?" Or, "Have I caught you at a convenient time?" Often, when I suggest clearing the time, I receive some pushback from students. What are the risks of not clearing the time and plowing into your message? They are busy doing something else and they don't hear a single word that you say, which means you wasted your time anyway. They think you are unprofessional and lack maturity and respect. They lump you with every other telemarketer that calls and dismiss you as quickly as possible. Despite what you may think, speaking from personal experience with great confidence, I can say that clearing the time takes courage and it projects a higher level of professionalism. It is appreciated and will help you achieve tremendous results. Taking this approach will differentiate you and provide you with a huge advantage. What are some of the possible outcomes when you clear the time? Yes, it is a good time. Maybe it depends what it is, which is also a yes. No, it's not a good time, which can go 3 ways as outlined on the following slide. You ask, when would be a convenient time to speak with you? Never. You are stonewalled. Make one or more appeals to their primary motivating factors. Say something like, "You mean if I were able to introduce a process that has been proven to dramatically cut manufacturing costs, you wouldn't be open to learning about it?" They suggest a time to call back. They are genuine and actually speak with you when you call back at the suggested time. They are disingenuine. When you call back at the suggested time, you are unable to connect with them. Your call goes to voicemail. On this occasion and every other follow-up occasion, I will remind them that we spoke and that they asked me to call them back, which as promised I have done. Put them on a follow-up schedule. Continue to call them on a timely basis. Call from different numbers, office number or cell number, and also block your number from appearing on their call display. As long as you always remain professional and positive in your communications, there are 2 critical factors that will work for you. Generally speaking, people appreciate persistence as long as it doesn't cross the line and become obnoxious or harassment. In addition, most people have a conscience, and if they become familiar with you because of the messages that you have left, they will feel guilty when you finally get them on the phone. I cannot even begin to tell you how many times over the course of my sales career that people have apologized for ignoring me or not returning my calls when I finally get them on the phone. When this happens, they can often feel that they owe you and that they are at least obligated to hear you out. What is the purpose of a specific benefit statement? How should it or could it be verbally presented? The purpose of a specific benefit statement is to present a message that is tailored to the opportunity, resonates with the prospect, captures prospect attention, lowers sales resistance, gets listened to more often, improves conversion rates. How should it or could it be verbally presented? I am about to introduce you to an approach which, for the majority of people, has proven to be a significant mental twist compared to their present manner or method of approaching prospects by phone. If you are like most people, this method will challenge your present mode of operation and your mindset. It will force you to completely rethink what you have learned and the habits that you have developed. If you are pleased with the results that you've been achieving, then you may decide to keep doing what you've been doing. If, on the other hand, there is room for improvement and you don't wish to keep getting what you've been getting in terms of results, then get ready to open your mind up to a new way of thinking about your prospecting calls and the approach that you use. Whenever possible, your specific benefit statement should be targeted or directed towards the primary motivating factors of either the individual, the organization, or a balance of both. Should always be enthusiastic. Should always capture or create interest with the prospect. Should always grab the prospect's attention and spark a desire for them to meet with or listen to you further. Should always project authority and reflect credibility. Whenever possible, your specific benefit statement should hit one or more hot buttons using key buzzwords. Whenever applicable, use a success example, testimonial, from a similar business or a company they would recognize and respect. This is referred to as social evidence. Whenever your goal is to schedule an appointment, should always be short, direct, and to the point. Avoid flowery or wordy statements. When doing so, mention one or two specific benefits, not a laundry list. Whenever applicable, have some supporting facts, information, or statistics that are relevant, such as size of your company, years in business, corporate or personal areas of specialization, etc. When you contact people for the purpose of selling by phone or securing an appointment, you have to say something that strikes a chord with them, otherwise you are wasting their time and yours as well. Remember, people are primarily motivated to take action for one of two reasons, which are the ability to gain something, greed, or because of the fear of loss or potentially losing something. If you don't appeal to either of these motivating factors, you are unlikely to advance the opportunity. Many salespeople are guilty of using the same or similar approach for all of their prospecting calls. They tend to go in blind from a position of weakness. A cookie-cutter approach is ineffective in corporate sales. Your call to successful conversion ratio will always be poor using the same approach or a blanket statement for every call. Inexperienced salespeople often wish to be provided with all the exact answers. They want to be spoon-fed all the golden responses. The problem is that every scenario is different. As long as you have to depend on someone else to provide you with all the answers, then you cannot be an independent sales professional. The secret is learning to think for yourself. Your ability to adjust, often on the fly, is critical to your success. You must be able to assess each situation and the players involved by observing and leveraging the information available to you. To be recognized at a higher level of professionalism and engage in prospecting activities from a position of power, it is necessary to make the approach with knowledge and information, even if some of it is based on educated guesses. A targeted, specific benefit statement is more likely to get the desired results and help you secure an appointment or make a sale with decision makers who are more educated, experienced, and sophisticated. As you work through this exercise and develop a new thought process for securing appointments, I recommend you ask your preferred customers these questions in order to get the valuable information needed to create specific benefit statements. What does your market or customer base value, or what is of greatest importance to them? Why do your best customers buy from you instead of anybody else? What did you say in the selling process that caused them to trust you and move to the next step in the buying process? What success stories did you use that resonated with them? Why did they choose to buy from you instead of anyone else, including the option of doing nothing? In order to create a specific benefit statement, you have to begin looking at each opportunity independently. You have to dissect the opportunity and break it down to its lowest common denominators. By viewing each situation as a unique opportunity, your thinking shifts from tunnel vision to a broad perspective. You connect with prospects in a way that sets you apart from the majority of salespeople. It's as if you begin speaking a whole new language, one that is recognized, powerful, and strategically designed to produce results. In order to prepare a specific benefit statement that you can use in your sales role, you will need to prepare some information. To the best of your abilities, you would need to respond to the questions on the following slides for a specific scenario. You are going to call on a company, organization, or individual. The information you provide is based on your research findings, account history, previous contact with the company, information from their website, internet, social sites, and experienced assumptions, and your understanding of the business type or industry you are calling on. It is worth repeating that this is a huge shift in thinking for most people. If you are new to sales, then the good news is that you haven't likely developed any bad habits. There are 8 points covered between this slide and the next one. In order to master this shift in thinking and establish new habits, you must be willing to practice. As I review each of these points, I encourage you to think of a singular selling opportunity and create a scenario based on that opportunity. Write down 1 or 2 points or responses to each of the points covered. Title, role, or position of the decision maker or your key contact. Type of person, personality they are, describing personal likes and dislikes. This information may be unknown. Sometimes an educated guess is the best that you can do. Issues or priorities that are of or assumed to be of significance to them. If you work in a specific industry and frequently call on similar people most of the time, then it should be an easier task for you to narrow down some likely responses to this point. Specific challenges, concerns, problems, and difficulties that they are or you believe they are faced with. Social trends, economic or political conditions that may be negatively or positively impacting their business or industry. Issues, matters, marketing place position, and corporate mandates of the organization that you are calling on. The deficiencies of their current supplier, system, technology, or equipment, or if nothing is in place, what are they missing? The result they will see or experience by using your products and/or services, answering the question, what's in it for me? In order to get comfortable with the thought process, I recommend that you take a break from the e-learning module at this point and work through the exercise of creating 1 to 3 scenarios using the space provided in your course workbook. Following this step in the course, you are going to be asked to submit responses for these 8 points in an exercise. This concludes step number 7 of the learning path. Please click on the green Next button with the white arrow in order to advance when you are ready to proceed.